Hi, this is Robin from Mind Body Weight Loss, and this is my hypothesis on how the hCG protocol helps you improve your metabolic rate and to lose fat. So I'm going to try to keep this short and sweet, and it's going to be obviously a Cliff Notes version of what's going on physiologically, and it's called the Keep It Simple Stupid method here. We're going to try to keep it simple so that you can understand the concept behind it all. And again, this is based on all the research that's already out there, so I hope you understand this. So we're going to start by talking about leptin. Leptin is a hormone that pretty much is the cornerstone of your fat metabolism. It dictates whether or not you store fat or burn fat as energy, alongside many other hormones there that it works in conjunction with. But in the end, leptin, as we're finding, is very, very essential in controlling your fat metabolism. And how it works, we'll start, it works in the brain, and it works on fat as well. So when I talk to you, I'm going to tell you what it does in the brain and what it does with your fat. Okay, so there's always two parts to how it affects your body. So let's start with when you eat. Leptin is stimulated when you eat. So every time you eat, leptin levels rise. And as those leptin levels rise in the brain, it tells the hormones in the brain that destimulate the appetite center. It basically tells your brain to tell your body that you're satiated. So you get a feeling of satiation as leptin levels rise, and those hormones make you feel that way. As leptin levels rise with your fat at the fat receptor site, as leptin levels rise, your fat is made readily available to use as energy. So in the mitochondria, fat metabolism increases. So as leptin levels rise, your appetite goes down and your metabolic rate goes up. Okay? When you stop eating, or if you're dieting, your leptin levels go back down. So you can see here, here's fat metabolism, here's leptin levels. As leptin levels rise, you can see fat metabolism goes up. Okay? And as you stop eating, leptin levels decline, which means you get hungrier, but you can see your fat metabolism also slows down. This is a way for your body to conserve energy and to slow your body down just in case you're not going to get to eat for the next 2 weeks, right? Well, and it's a way that your body survives when there's not enough energy from your food. So it slows down your fat metabolism, making sure that your glycogen stores and the blood glucose is being used as energy rather than being created into fat. So you can see as leptin levels go down, fat metabolism goes down. And the brain side as well, as leptin levels decline, it destimulates your thyroid hormones or makes the signals weaker. So that also decreases your metabolic rate. Okay? So what happens if you have too much leptin in your body? Okay, what if you overproduce it? Well, research is showing that people who have excessive fat stores or who are obese tend to have large quantities of leptin level, far beyond the average sized person. And how does that help them or not help them? Well, unfortunately, as your leptin levels go up because you ate too much or because you're hypersensitive to producing too much leptin, you can see from here that as the leptin level goes up, that your fat metabolism goes back down. Okay? So when your leptin levels are too high, it acts almost like anti-insulin. And what happens here, because your fat stores are less likely to utilize the energy to create space for it acts as anti-insulin, which means your blood sugar levels are going to be high or excessive. You can see your blood glucose or sugar levels have an optimum level, and your body does what it can to keep it in this optimal range. Well, if it goes too high up, your body increases insulin and tries to keep it down here in the optimal range. It takes that glucose and creates triglycerides, so that your blood sugar levels aren't too high. So you have blood sugar and high triglycerides, which means you're going to be creating more fat. So the more leptin you have, the lower your metabolic rate, the increased glucose in your body, which means you have more triglycerides and more fat. It's a vicious cycle. Okay? If you've got too much fat in your body, you're hypersensitive to creating too much leptin, which means you may be eating like normal, You know, and if your body already has too much leptin, you're more sensitive to creating fat. Okay? Does that make any sense? So, what does this have to do with the hCG protocol? Well, I have been scouring the internet for information and thought, well, leptin is so amazing and potent in fat metabolism, maybe hCG stimulates leptin. Well, guess what? It does. There is enough information, there's enough data out there showing that there's a direct relationship between leptin and hCG in the pregnant woman, and not only that, that hCG not only stimulates leptin on the placental area, but also in the maternal fat stores. So, you know, pregnant women have about 15% more fat, and it could be because they have producing hCG, which increases leptin levels, which mean a pregnant woman has this, you know, level of leptin. Even if she can't eat, her body will always have that insurance of leptin, which also makes her more susceptible to gaining fat as well. So as she eats and eats too much than she needs, she's going to be gaining fat. Okay? So on this protocol, you're injecting hCG. So chances are that your fat stores are probably then producing leptin, even if you're not eating. So you are consistently, day after day, injecting yourself with hCG, which, like a pregnant woman, creates that insurance so that your leptin levels, even when you aren't eating, they won't ever go below a certain amount. Okay? So, which is not to say you're not going to get hungry, but that if you eat, you're susceptible to gaining fat, which is why if you cheat on the protocol, you gain fat because you overstimulated leptin. You took it from here and pushed it over the edge. Okay? So to counter that, we've got a 500 calorie protocol that keeps you safe right here. Optimal metabolic rate. You reduce your calories, which puts demand on that mitochondria to burn because you have leptin to allow it. So you're burning fat, you're increasing your metabolic rate, and you're maintaining a steady leptin level. Ta-da! It's pretty exciting. There's so much more information involved in this and so many other things. But this is the best. This is what I've got for my short version for you today. Hopefully you understand this. This makes loading so much more sense, that when you load, you're really stimulating that leptin level. And not only that, with the injections, you've got that stimulated leptin site of the body. And then you go right into 500 calories, and you've got that insurance. You're not going to be burning muscle. With that leptin, you're capable of burning your fat. It actually improves your fat metabolism. So that's what I've got today. Hopefully I will give you more later, and sooner than later. I will be writing a report and having this available to you to download for free. That way you can take something tangible and have something to maybe help explain how this process may be working. In the meantime, I suggest y'all go out there, look at leptin, hCG, try to put it all together, especially those of you who are physiologists. This makes total sense. So thanks for your time, and let me know if you have any questions.